So what happens is a tweet from Mr. Khan or a production from Mr. Khan, the awareness around the product is so high and the expectation is so high. Maybe that's the reason some of our films or shows take more beating than normal other films or shows do. But that pressure is always there. But at the same point of time, it gives you access to so many people. Thanks to social media, everyone is live tweeting their experience in the film.
True.
So if they're live tweeting, what is happening is they're having a multiplier effect. Either it will take the film or it will sink the film. So now we don't see the drop on Monday. Traditionally 4 years back, we used to see a drop on Monday. Oh my God, whether it will survive. Monday used to be a test.
Yeah.
Now Saturday is the test.
True.
Friday night you see films collapsing like this. So many films now slotted, and every Friday there's a film.
Yeah.
We have to see whether we can find a reasonably good window for a film. 2 weeks are a rarity now. If you get one film also, 1 week alone,
Yeah.
I think we'll take that shot depending on the readiness of the film. I think these are the 3 films.
And lastly, the million-dollar question: when can we see a Shah Rukh Khan film with Red Chillies production? What's happening on that front? Hi guys, this is Himesh and welcome to Pinkvilla. Today we have with us someone who is extremely passionate about the number game and understands the dynamic of business better than most. It's a pleasure to have Mr. Gaurav Verma from Red Chillies. Welcome to Pinkvilla, sir.
Thank you for having me.
To start with, we are still in the midst of a pandemic. How do you think has this pandemic, the COVID pandemic, impacted Bollywood as an industry?
We are not into operational side of it. What has impacted basically is the operational side. So to say a production got impacted in terms of creating content on the exhibition side, the cinemas got impacted. But are we still developing films? Answer is yes. Are we still in the prep mode? Answer is yes. Are we still narrating to actors? Answer is yes. Is the product going to consumers? Answer is yes. I think thanks to OTT and other platforms. Yeah. So I think the operational side got held back for maybe 12 months now, but we are back and with a new discipline, hopefully.
But were there any alterations in the plans at Red Chillies with respect to creation of content over the last 1 year?
I think we got a lot more time to develop content. Also, I think a lot more time to watch content and evaluate our strategies based on which route to take. So earlier, everyone was rushing towards making shows or films that everything will get sold. But I think we took a step back, started looking at our content based on what's happening in the world. Also the kind of storytelling. A storytelling is not necessarily meant for theatrical. It should, everything is a medium. So ultimately you have to take your film to consumers through theatrical, through television, through streaming, every other platform. So we are looking for stories which can travel now. Travel does not necessarily mean international, but travel across platforms as well, I think. So I think that has been the big learning.
What is the process of bifurcation of content for OTT vis-a-vis a theatrical medium?
You don't. I think if someone says you can bifurcate, it's, I think, unfair. See, ultimately you are trying to engage with consumers. You're trying to tell them a story which they want to hear, which they want to listen or engage with. Mediums can be different. You can't differentiate. If a film is being liked on OTT, it will be liked on theatrical as well. It's about engagement.
There was a Class of 83 which premiered on Netflix.
Yeah.
So how did you decide on, putting that content up on the digital platform rather than a theatrical medium?
I should have seen this coming for my answer. But so I think initially 3 years or 4 years back, we wanted to learn how the streaming content creation for streaming works, whether it's a series or a film. Then we realized, I think effort is as much as you making a theatrical film.
Yeah.
So why not to make a theatrical film as well? Okay. So as of now, we are making films, and eventually once we watch the film, depending on what the market situation is, then we'll take a call. We will not put them in a bucket from day one saying it is OTT or it is theatrical.
Okay.
So I think to say everything as of now is theatrical, but it may change at some point of time.
And I believe you are also churning out an in-house distribution segment for Red Chillies. What's happening? How do you plan to reach out to the interiors of country in terms of distribution network?
I think this responsibility has largely been with independent distributors or with so-called studios. UTV was there, Viacom is there. Yash Raj continues to do it very well, and used to be very active at some point of time. Our endeavor is to take the film to consumers at every level. So transact with the Netflix directly, transact with Apple for iTunes directly, transact with cinemas directly, so that you can understand the film behavior better.
Correct.
Also what is happening is we are moving away from traditional distribution network. So, we had 14 territories, if you count Nepal in on that one. Now, you don't do 14 territories. What you're doing is multiplexes, national, non-national, and others.
Correct.
It is as simple as that.
Yeah.
Can you operate multiplexes from Bombay? Answer is yes. Can you service them in terms of publicity and everything? As good as a courier service can service them. Yeah. So I think the new means of distribution is coming. That is theatrical. on digital, you're working with Apple, you're working with Google Play, you're working with Netflix and other partners to take the film to consumers as well as on television.
How different is the world when you know there's a production house which is run by a superstar like Shah Rukh Khan vis-a-vis a corporate setup?
Let me not comment on corporate. I think I can comment on where we are now. It comes with much more responsibility because the awareness of the product that you churn out is out there. Also, the expectation is there. So what happens is a tweet from Mr. Khan or a production from Mr. Khan, the awareness around the product is so high and the expectation is so high. Maybe that's the reason some of our films or shows take more beating than normal other films or shows do. But that pressure is always there. But at the same point of time, it gives you access to so many people. You have someone who has 30 years of experience. Sitting at the top of this company, he is the promoter, he is the creative lead in the company, he is the creative producer of everything that we do. That gives you so much bandwidth, so much experience, so much. He has a point of view as an actor, he has a point of view as a producer, he's one of the smartest technicians around. So, I mean, he has interest in VFX, he has interest in post-production. So it gives you so much more to vision, so much more to do. You can kind of tell newer stories.
Correct.
That flexibility you have, but it comes with more responsibility because it's attached to Mr. Khan.
You know, talking about the times of pandemic and post-pandemic times, do you think an additional effort will be needed to bring the audience to the theatre in terms of content more than anything else?
See, platforms are competing with each other. I think we need to address that question first. I think within the business, there's no clarity that platforms are competing with each other. It is not producer. Producer is a content creator.
Yeah.
He will probably, okay, if you make a product like, not soap is a bad example, but you have multiple avenues to take the product through that distribution network or through those channels to consumers. Now, exhibition is another consumer platform. SVOD is, TVOD is, television is, pay-per-view is, and yeah, AVOD, FVOD, multiple formats are there. Now, one platform, is it competing with someone? I think the windows are shrinking, so I think there's a heat. Exhibitors are facing that. Oh, now there's someone breathing on our neck. That means exhibitors probably have to excite more people to come to them.
Yeah.
It's a challenging business because everything is on the click of a button. But for exhibition, you have to invite people, excite them so that they can leave the comfort of their homes and travel 3, 4, 5 kilometers to the near cinema or far cinema, wherever they are, to watch a film. I think cinemas might have to come together and sell this experience.
Do you think that the sellability of a film in terms of cinema, the experience and the hype around a film, that also stems from the box office collection that is one of the major factors to create the hype? Day 150 crore, that of course excites a bigger chunk of audience who read it. 50 crore ek din mein kiya, kuch to hoga film mein.
I don't think box office numbers excite people anymore. I don't think that's the case because there have been multiple films in last 3 years. So you've been tracking numbers. Let's look at it this way. In last 3 years, there's so many films which have done a massive day one but collapsed after that.
Yeah.
If number is a driver, then number day two has to go up. So number is not a driver. That is clear.
Okay.
I think the word of mouth is. So what has happened thanks to social media, everyone is live tweeting their experience on the film.
True.
So if they're live tweeting, what is happening is they're having a multiplier effect. Either it will take the film or it will sink the film. So now we don't see the drop on Monday. I mean, traditionally, 4 years back, we used to see a drop on Monday. Oh my God, whether it will survive. Monday used to be a test.
Yeah.
Now Saturday is the test.
True.
Friday night, you see films collapsing like this. If the word of mouth is not out.
From evening, basically, yeah.
Evening, you see, evening 7 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m. takes a hit.
And what's the slate that you have to offer in terms of next 1 year? Slate of films, projects, releases?
We're trying to develop a very diverse slate. So we have Bob Mishra's, we have completed the shoot of that film. That should be ready for a release sometime this summer. We have Love Hostel, which is on floors as we speak, and which should hit, I mean, maybe this, I think Q3 should be the number, I think probably calendar Q3. We should be able to release that film. Then we have Darlings, which you've just announced.
Yeah.
I think it depends on how the Q3 and Q4 are, because there's so many films now slotted and every Friday there's a film.
Yeah.
We have to see whether we can find a reasonably good window for a film. 2 weeks are a rarity now. If you get one film also, 1 week alone, I think we'll take that shot depending on the readiness of the film. I think these are the 3 films, but lots in development. Slowly and gradually we want to announce, and we don't want to announce it like a slate. I think going back to the point which I made earlier on brand as well as people coming to see the brand. I think we want to make independent films. We want to be seen as someone who is making all kinds of cinema, be it a Kamyab, be it a Love Hostel, be it a Class of 83, Badla, Ittifaq, Jab Harry Met Sejal, Zero, Happy New Year's, the Chennai Express of these world. We have other films coming up from Mr. Khan, which I think should be announced when he's ready to announce. And so looking at someone who's making diverse films, offering multiple kind of films to consumers,
Yeah.
and also more importantly backing newer talent. So if you see most of the films that we have, including Bob is being directed by a first timer,
Yeah.
Darlings is being directed by a first timer.
Yeah.
Likewise, there are multiple in terms of technicians, writers, directors. I think we want to give opportunity to everyone. So idea is to become that studio where you can give multiple options, multiple choices to consumers in terms of offerings, and not catering to a certain kind of cinema, to ability to work with newer talent time and again, give opportunities. Some may succeed, hopefully all succeeds. And yeah, and probably people can relate to Red Chillies as something which they can find exciting cinema attached to our brand. I think probably that's what we are looking at.
And you mentioned about Bob Biswas certainly being a summer release.
Yeah.
Since summer is just 2 months away, have you started conversations with the cinema owners in terms of release plans, or it's too early?
It's too early. If you set up an end game, I think end games are important. Dates are important for big films. When I say big films which are releasing on a festival, the window clarity is required.
Correct.
For us, we can plan a film like maybe in 5 weeks or 6 weeks, because campaigns have shrunk now. Audience do not have so much of. We used to have 8-week campaigns. Now they're down to 3. So you can plan a film. If you're ready, you can plan a film in 3 weeks and release the film.
Yeah.
So we are quite flexible that way. I think we have to see how the summer shapes up, how many films are releasing now, because yeah, there are lots being written on the calendar now.
Correct.
If we find a Friday, which is good for our film, I think we'll come.
Is there a Bard of Blood season 2 in the offing, because part 1 ended on a cliffhanger?
Yeah, should be. I think it depends on. I think, yeah, it's kind of a vague. I can't. Should be, but I think probably I can leave it at that.
And lastly, the $1 million question: when can we see a Shah Rukh Khan film with Red Chillies production? What's happening on that front?
I think lots is happening on that front, but I think it's for Mr. Khan to decide when he wants to announce and when he wants to share. I think there has been a lot of speculation in the market, but I think this announcement belongs to him. He'll decide when he's ready to announce. And he's taken a sabbatical. He's taken a good break where he has enjoyed and identified multiple scripts. So hopefully he should be announcing soon.
Thank you so much. It was a lovely interaction, and good luck for the slate.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us. Hi, I'm Gaurav Verma. If you like this conversation and more conversations with Himesh, please subscribe to Pink Pillar.